Hello and welcome back. Turok Guru here, and today I will continue my lesson on sectors. Previously, I showed you the basics of Navmesh builder and even made our first sectors. Remember sector properties? Now I will show you what those are. Sector properties tell the game what a Navmesh is supposed to do or what properties it may have, from fog color, checkpoints, lava, event triggers like falling rocks, how close the fog is to the game world, etc. All this may look extremely complicated at first, but once you get the hang of it, it isn't that difficult to understand. A lot of sector flags and properties are used a handful of times in a map, while others can pretty much be ignored on your first map. With that out of the way, it's time to explain what all these properties do. Water height. This tells the game how high on the z-axis a water pool can be. Sky height. This tells the game to spawn the sky texture covered in the very first video at whatever value you type here. It is kind of finicky since, unlike water, it doesn't use the z-axis as a reference. I believe it treats the sector as set value 0, regardless of how far down below the map grid the sector is. Automap color. Simple. It tells the game what color a sector or sectors will have when you open the map. Fog color controls fog color. This is what you're looking for if you want to change the color of the world fog. And because fog color is controlled with these properties, that means you can have a rainbow of fog colors all over your map. Water color. Same as above, except this will apply only when you swim underwater. Fog CFAR and Water CFAR. When extended draw distance is disabled, or if the map definition script doesn't have an override value, these values will control how far the player can see before the fog obstructs view. The higher the value, the further you can see. Fog start and Water fog start. These tell the game how close to the player the fog will render. Sky speed controls how fast the sky will move during gameplay. Blend length. The time taken to transition to a sector's fog properties when you enter it. The default value is 1 or roughly 1 second. Floor and wall impact ID. These will spawn and trigger the corresponding sounds when you shoot them with bullet projectiles. Ambience. This controls what sound effects will play on the background as you play. There is a total of 9 ambience values. I'll list all of them alongside their definitions on screen. Music. Controls what music track will play when you step on the sector. Again, I'll list all values on screen. Draw order. Tells the game the order priority sector edges will take when they are drawn in the automap. A value of 1, for instance, means that the edge of the sector will render above a sector with a value higher than 1. ARG values are special, but I'll give you the short version of all of them. ARG 1 and 2. These are teleported values. These take you to a different map, but only when set up properly. ARG 3. This controls checkpoints. You will also need to take the checkpoint flag and set up a warp actor to use this. ARG4. This is your event value. Turok uses something called a TID, which is used to trigger events in a level. When this is enabled, it will trigger all actors with a matching TID when the player enters the sector. If there are no matching sectors, it will call a script instead if there is one. ARG 5 and 6. These values control damage over time when paired with the lava and damage flags. ARG 5 is how much hell damage the player takes, and ARG 6 is how quickly. A value of 5 under ARG5 and 1024 under ARG6 means the player will take 5 health damage every second. Up next, we got sector flags. These are pretty easy to understand, so I'll go over the ones you'll be using the most. Water. It turns a sector into a water sector once water height is set up. Block. This will prevent NPCs and the player from accessing the sector. Cliff turns a sector into a cliff sector. Bridge. It allows the player and NPCs to fall off a sector as long as there's a sector below the bridge sector. Collide ceiling. It enables ceiling collision, which will prevent the player from clipping through meshes if they jump. Enter crawl and crawl will automatically make the player crawl once they step on a sector with these flags enabled. Secret will turn this secret into a secret sector and will play the audio and visual cues when the player steps on the sector. Slope test will allow you to set up racing platforms and pillars which can be seen throughout the entire game. Restricted. NPCs will not be able to access a sector with this enabled. Hidden. Sectors with this enabled will not render in the auto map. Dead pit, what it says on the thing, makes a sector a dead pit. Event will trigger stuff when set up with an ARG4 value and or a corresponding TID. Damage will cause damage to the player when the player steps on the sector. Lava will slow down the player's running speed. Draw sky. It will tell the game to spawn the sky texture. Climb will allow the player to climb up cliff sectors when paired with the cliff flag. Ladder will allow the player to climb up sectors with the climb and cliff flags enabled faster. Checkpoint will allow you to set up a checkpoint when paired with ARG3 and a warp actor. Anti-gravity will turn your sectors into wind tunnels which can either go up or down. Event sound. When paired with ARG4 and the event flag, it will play a sound when the player steps on the sector. Shallow water. When paired with the water flag, it will prevent the player from entering the swimming state and allows enemies that can't swim to enter the sector. Throw a sun. Spawns the sun, which is set up under world properties. And that's all the flags you'll most likely end up using in your first map. If you take a look at our existing sectors, you will notice that they don't have any information or properties. That is because we built a default sector and then built all other sectors of that one default sector. You could manually correct all this by selecting all your sectors and adding the information manually, but there's an easier way. If you wish to have a sector with preset info already set up for you, you can open an existing map, vanilla or custom, look for any one of the many red colored sectors, copy it, and reopen your map and then just paste it. And there you have it. You just brought an existing sector to your own map. A word of advice. Once you've copied a sector from another map, save your progress and reopen your map. Now that we have a vanilla sector, we can customize it to our liking. Here, I'll be changing some info around so that I don't have any issues with this later down the road. Now, select the 3 vertices of this sector and move them closer to your arena. Go ahead and select all sectors we originally built, then press the delete key to get rid of all of them. Then select your custom sector, press F2 to enter sector create mode and just remake all sectors again using the new base sector. Now, save all your progress and test your map. You should now be in game and your sector should have whatever custom information you set up. And there you have it. This concludes covering the basics of advanced Navmesh building. Tune in next time, for I will show you how to set up some of these sectors properties in detail. This has been the Turok Guru.